Hey guys, it's Mike Kelly here, Mike Kelly counselor, Michael B. King. Unfortunately, this video message will officially serve as my suicide note. Yeah, you heard me right. This is in fact my broadcasted announcement to my family, to my friends, to my colleagues and barbers, to all of my social media well-wishers, and to some of you curious onlookers. I've tagged many of my friends who might think this is worthy or necessary to even share. Thank you. Now, I did think and consider doing this live, but I didn't want anyone to post comments or try to talk me out of it. I had planned to do this off the cuff, but I decided to go ahead and read it because I wanted to be sure that I communicated in no uncertain terms that I have decided to, in fact, take my own life. I have indeed decided to take my own life and to end it. The life that I've known for more than 40 years now. I believe it has come to the end of its road. Growing up, and particularly growing up in the church, suicide was the ultimate unforgivable and the absolute unpardonable sin. An egregious act that guaranteed that you would split hell wide open. It's only in recent years that I've altered that thinking and that God is the ultimate judge. And we are not to assume with the concluded verdict that those who have gone out like that are doomed without any chance at eternity with God. Now, I must say, and I will say, that I do believe that suicide is the most cynical thing and the highest level of selfishness that anyone could carry out and succumb to. Just the unthinkable of abandoning and leaving your loved ones behind to grieve and to wonder what in the world went wrong. Nonetheless, this is my suicide note. The note that I'm speaking of is nothing short of a 50,000 word suicide note that has pushed and caused my pen to write for the last 5 years now. In spite or regardless of anyone's intrigue or anticipation, I'm so glad I waited. And in a lot of ways, I deliberately procrastinated this moment. The reason being is that I have been scared for my life. I mean, literally shaking in my boots of all the aftermath and of all the ridicule of this video, and frantically frightened of the critique of my writings that will now be read and examined all over the world, and more importantly by those who have been most important to my world and most important to my life. Nevertheless, I am in fact taking my own life, perhaps it's sort of a memorialized documentary of what I'm calling a melodramatic memoir. In my book, titled Lovicide, I set out to convey the notion that if homicide is the criminal murder of another, and suicide is the cynical murder of self, well then I'm suggesting that lovicide is the crisis of a communicated murder to a relationship that could not be revived. I subtitled the book Dead Man Writing, likened unto a man incarcerated in max prison, dreadfully awaiting death on death row. That man is referred to as a dead man walking. The very heart and central focus of my book is spotlighted on my marriage, my business, and my divorce. Chronicled from my childhood, then bringing me all the way up to today, finding me currently in a sultry season of isolation. Although I am very much encouraged, knowing that isolation is the final frontier of discovery. Thus, I'm also submitting to you that discovery is the very bridge to recovery. I know what it is to live in a 4,000 square foot home with a fine wife and a mother of 5 amazing children. I know what it is to own and operate a relatively successful and most popular, poppin', citywide respected business. And And now I even know firsthand what it is to be wifeless and essentially homeless, as I am now living directly inside the place of business that for more than 20 years I've made a living in. Wait a minute. I'm now living in the place that I've made a living in? Wow. Lovicide is the readable movie written of and by a man who has already been murdered by the things he has loved the most. Although I'm not a victim, nor am I playing the victim, I am a victor. I am victorious beyond any defeat. I fully understand that broken hearts, although broken, still pump blood. Broken hearts still pump blood. I am alive and well, and I feel the triumphant blood running through my veins. I am what my good buddy Robbie Davis calls a Winterian. Pastor Robbie Davis of Celebration Church in Columbia, Maryland, created that word, Winterian, which he defines as one who is resolved that in spite of any of life's blows and lows and circumstances, winning is the only option. Speaking of Robbie Davis, in my book, there's a chapter titled The Unauthorized Biography of Robbie Davis. Although unauthorized, I wrote that chapter under the authority and from the position of being his only protege that he called his number one disciple. Thanks, Rob. So listen, when you download my book, Lovicide, you help me launch my new purpose career as a self-published author. You help me print the first shipment of my paperback. You help me retire some looming debt. And you help me to shore up this new business location. You also help me to move out of the barbershop and into a new rental home, suffice enough for my 5 children this summer. Trust me, guys, this book is the most powerful thing I have ever read. And it just so happens to be that I'm the one who wrote it. Now, please forgive me for the intentional clickbait with the caption there, suicide note. No, I'm not killing myself. I'm merely taking my own life and giving it to you and the entire world to read and to pick it apart, which could very well be the thing that kills me. As I am now opening myself up to the highest level of critique and ridicule and hopefully some of your praise. Thank you for watching, and please now feel free to purchase and download my book directly to your phone and to your tablet. And I hope you enjoy reading my movie, Lovicide.